Hi guys, welcome back to Tell the Nations. If this is your first time here, my name is Ugonne Ann Okonkwo. I am a Nigerian living in China right now, and on this channel I'm sharing my personal journey with you guys, my YouTube journey, and I'm hoping that you pick a few things that will inspire you to go turn the world around you the right side up. Today's video is going to be a fun video where I'm sharing about some cultural differences in motherhood between China and Nigeria. As some of you know, I had my first child here in China, Ite, and I thought I should do this fun video because I've picked up a few things that I felt like this is so different from how we do it back home. So like the journey of motherhood, pregnancy and motherhood, there are some very interesting differences between us Nigerians and Chinese people. And I thought that it should be a fun video to share with you guys some things that I've learned since I became a mother in China. So the first thing that I'm going to actually mention, this is even with pregnancy period, is that Chinese doctors are not allowed to tell the moms to be the sex of their baby. It was as at the time that I was pregnant that I learned about this, and I'm like, what? Why in the world wouldn't you tell me about the sex of my baby? But apparently it's because of during the time that they had the one-child policy. Most of the parents and most of the people in China wanted to have boys. So when they found out that they were having girls, they would abort the baby. And abortion is not really too much of a big deal here, like how it is for us. So there's this age range in China that have like a wide gap of male and female gender. And I think that was attributed to the one-child policy. So because of that, they are not allowed to tell their people when they're having when they're about to have children, the sex of the baby. But luckily for me, I was at a private hospital, and it wasn't even the doctors that told me. If you watched my video about my birth story, which by the way you should watch, you should probably be seeing on the screen right now, I talked a little bit about that. And that's one of the very different, like one thing that was very different for me when it comes to having children here in China. The second difference in motherhood between China and Nigeria is sitting the month versus omugwo. Guys, as some of you may know, I'm an Igbo girl, and where I come from, what we do is when a woman has a child, what we do is omugwo.
My Lagos people, I'm about to be a daddy. Kita.
I was going to tell you to start saving money to buy a shotgun.
Omugwo is basically postpartum care, but this is where your mom or your mom-in-law or some relative comes to stay with you after you've had a baby for an extended period of time or something like that. But for the Chinese people, what they do is called sitting the month, or I'm not sure I'm saying it right. Are you Chinese? If you're Chinese, correct me. Yeah, something like that. It's called sitting the month, and this is, guys, this tradition. When I heard about it, I'm like, what? This is 1,000, according to research, or according to what I saw online, according to what I heard, this is 1,000-old tradition. 1,000-old Chinese tradition where the moms or a new mom is supposed to sit in the house for 1 good month. 30 days. 30 days of no much movement, not going anywhere, just being in the house, not touching water, yes, not taking a bath. Man, interesting. Not taking a bath and not like It's just 30 days of rest, in other words. This is basically to let the mother recover from childbirth and just restore her body, so she's not allowed to do so many things. She's just moving around the house. Some people don't really like it. I've seen, or I read up on some very weird stories of people not enjoying it. Some other people think it's a tradition that should be kept. But in recent times, it's not as strict as like how they used to do it back in the day, where you're not even allowed to take a bath or touch anything or do anything. You're just sitting in a place for 1 month. So that's one very major difference between China and Nigeria with regards to having a baby. Sitting the month versus omugo. The third very glaring difference, guys, this one was such a big deal because I'm like, what? The third difference is circumcision. Ha! People of God, do. These people don't do circumcision in China. You heard me. I remember when I was asking a colleague and friend of mine about this, like, differences, and I talked about circumcision. She was just looking at me like, what? What are you talking about? Very, very confused. Like, I was trying to explain to her, like when you have a male child, the skin, the penis. I was like, circumcision. It was so funny when she couldn't like really understand why would I want to do that to my child. But yeah, that's in China is very, very foreign to them. They don't really do circumcision. And that's one very glaring difference between us, Nigerians, and China. The next difference that I'll mention is about, what is it called? Breastfeeding versus breastfeeding and formula. Guys, back home, it's not even, formula is not even like, I know people use it now, but it's not that used, it's not, what's the word? It's not encouraged as much as here. Almost all my Chinese friends and all the people that I know that have children here didn't really breastfeed their children. They only used formula, which was very, very different for me because I know that back home, we are encouraged a lot to breastfeed our kids, like 6 months, 1 year. Even my father was even like 18 months, so nothing less than 18 months. So my son is still heavily breastfeeding. But like it was formula, using formula here is like very normal. If not that I had the hospital where I gave birth, they were not even expecting too much from me when it comes to breastfeeding. They just tried a little bit. If not that I had mothers around me, because my breast milk wasn't flowing very well at first, which is normal. But if not I had mothers around me, I would have been like, poof, I'm not doing this because it was painful, guys. Did you know that breastfeeding is painful? Hey, Jesus. At first, it was not even funny. But I had mothers around me that was like, what's this? What's this? You are going to breastfeed this child, whether you like it or not. And they insisted. And that's why my breast milk kept flowing, and I just, insisted and kept trying, and it started flowing normally. If it didn't happen that way, believe me, I would have formula fed my child, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But of course, it's encouraged that you should breastfeed your child as much as you can. And in all honesty, I actually liked breastfeeding. I wouldn't lie, even though right now I'm like over it. It's been 14 months. I'm like, I beg, I'm done. But my son doesn't even want to get the last of it. But anyway, that was a very glaring difference for me. Like, yeah, these people do much more of formula feeding as opposed to breastfeeding. Whereas us, I know that back home we do a lot more breastfeeding than formula feeding. The next difference, cultural difference, or should I say difference in motherhood, is the what is it called? Child dedication, or should I say child celebration. So in China, 100 days after you've given birth to your baby, that's when you get to do like some kind of mini celebration. and take pictures. And this was what a colleague and friend of mine told me. So, but for us, especially for Yorubas, I'm Nigerian, and for Yorubas, they do like child dedication 8 days after, right? Yeah, I know that because I have a few Yoruba friends. And for us, we also do child dedication pretty much whenever we want. Is it real? He's even quiet. He's even quiet, like he knows what's going on. Sorry. Raza has finished there.
Alright.
But here in China, it has to be 100 days after the baby is born. They are going to do some sort of celebration. It's not really called child dedication, but yeah, it's like a celebration, and there are pictures and stuff like that. Another very glaring difference, this one was during childbirth. Like, this is a difference, or this is something I learned. Cultural tradition when it comes to Chinese people is that when you have your baby, the receiving blanket, you know the receiving blanket for when the baby is born, right? Or the receiving cloth has to be red. Yeah. I said, what? They said, yes, it has to be a red cloth. When my friend was telling me this, I'm like, red cloth? Ha! Where I come from, red cloth. Anything red is witchcraft. Why are you people using red cloths to collect your baby? Jesus. But anyways, it's you know, for China, red is a national color for them. So they use this special cloth that is red. It has like some inscriptions on it, and there has to be like an eye, which I didn't know the meaning. She didn't tell me what it meant, but like there's this inscription. I'll put a picture of a cloth, of what the cloth looks like, that has an inscription on it about, you know, long life and good wishes and stuff like that. So yeah, a red cloth or a red cloth is a receiving cloth for the baby when the baby comes into the world for the Chinese people, whereas us, we don't have any of that. Any receiving blanket works. The next very interesting tradition that I'm like, why are we not doing this, is that when a baby is born in China, the baby's grandma has to give gold, right? Gold to the child. And not just any of the grandma, it's the mom's mom, like the grandma from the mother's side has to give the baby something gold, expensive, like a jewelry, as a gift to the child. I'm like, woo, this is good. Where is my own gold now? Nobody gave me gold. But we don't have any of this for us as Nigerians. No, we don't do this. But I mean, I think it's a really nice gift to give a child after they are born. But I was wondering, why does it have to be the mom's mom? I didn't get that part. But yeah, that's a cultural thing that they do here in China. If you're living here in China, let us know in the comment section. Did I miss out on anything? If you're a mom here in China, let me know in the comment section. What did I miss out on? Are there some things that you've noticed with Chinese people that is very different from us? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't checked out my videos on motherhood, my motherhood journey, do check out this playlist I have put in. Do check out this playlist I've put together about my motherhood journey here in China. It's been such an amazing journey so far in the last 1 year. And I think that you will find value in it, so make sure to check it out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, do that. Click on that red button below. Like this video if you found it interesting, if you found it valuable. Share it with a mom you know, share it with a friend, and leave a comment in the comment section. What would you like me to talk about? What part of motherhood do you want me to talk about? What would you like to learn? Leave that comment in the comment section. Did you find this video interesting? I would love your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the Tilt the Nations community. God bless you so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.